Okay, this is a salmon fly called the Tailfire. There are a couple of versions of this fly. There's the dark and the light version. I'm going to do the dark version today, which is a black hackle at the front. The light version has a dyed yellow badger hackle. Now the first stage in this fly is to put on a tag of Globe Bright number 12 floss. So when I'm taking the thread down the hook, I'll attach a piece of Globe Bright and just take that down with me as I go. This is a number 9 Salar gold hook. They're lovely hooks. Finished fly always looks well on them, and when I'm putting a tag on, I usually go down just about level with the hook point, tune that back up a bit, and then I'll put on the Globe Bright floss. Just about 3 or 4 turns of that is usually sufficient. And just tie them off. This is a very effective fly. It was featured in April 2008 Fly Fishing and Fly Tying in an article relating to John McLaughlin of Donegal Angling Centre, and it's also been featured more recently by Andrew McGall in his article in June 2008 in the Triton Salmon. Now, this stage we put on a tail of orange bucktail, hot orange bucktail. Just take out any small fibres from the front end of the bunch, and any fibres that are too long at the back end. This one's actually not too bad. You can use a hair stacker if you wish. Sometimes I do use it. It depends on the effect of the final fly that I'd like to have. If I want the fibres level at the back, I'll use the hair stacker. If I want a tapered effect, then I won't. This should be about 1.5 times the length of the body of the fly. Just catch that in. Make sure it's straight on top of the hook. That's good, right? And then just tie that off. Now, in order to give this tail a little bit of mobility, the original pattern calls simply for the bucktail, but I would put on a piece of softer hair or fur, either Arctic fox, or in this case I'll put on a piece of temple dog. Usually before I do that, I add a piece of flash of some description. I don't normally use flash on traditional flies, but this fly calls for flash in the original pattern. So I'm using some angel hair. Angel hair can be a little bit tricky to use. Just catch it in, catch a little bunch of it in on top of the bucktail, and then double it back. Away. And tie that off with a thread. Now, put it back until it's level with the bucktail, just like that, and then cut it at an angle. By cutting it at an angle, it means the fibres won't catch together whenever it's in the water. And once the flash is in place, then you can put in your piece of softer hair. As I say, this is temple dog. Don't go right to the end of the fly, the tail with this. Just about halfway is usually sufficient. And again, just catch that in. Now, take your thread of the hook catching in the waist ends. We're at this stage providing a bed for the gold tinsel, which makes up the back end of the body. I usually cut the material at the front off in a couple of sections at an angle. It makes it easier to tie down and keeps it nice and tidy. Just rolling that off top. And when you're running the thread back down the hook, catch in a piece of small oval tinsel. And this will form the rib. For the rear end. Now again, I usually split the fly into two sections, usually 2/3, 1/3. So just take the thread back up to about 2/3 of the way up the body, and there I'll catch a piece of gold oval tinsel. I've just cut it at a little bit of an angle so that it's easy to catch in. And usually what I do is I put a little bit of varnish on the thread. It provides a little bit of tackiness then to keep the tinsel from slipping. Some people will then varnish the tinsel once it's on, and you can do that. It certainly produces a more robust fly. I tend not to do it because there are too many of my flies end up in trees, and the extra time isn't really worth it. So what I did, I run the tinsel down to the tail and then back up again to where I tied it in, and I just tie it off there. A couple of turns of thread is usually sufficient. Just trim it off. And then take your tinsel and roll that back up. Usually 3 turns of tinsel is enough for the back end of the body. And again, just trim off the waist end. Now, in the last video I did, I showed you how to double the hackle. I'm going to put on a hot orange middle hackle. I've already got it doubled. Just tie it in towards you. Quarter turn just to secure it. And take your hackle pliers. Now this is quite a fine hackle, so 3 turns may be required to give it the right effect. Just push the fibres back as you're turning it on. ends of these fibres will usually project just beyond the bend of the hook. And that's worked out just about right. And just tie it off.